Hi dear students, welcome you all for today's statistics class. In the previous class, already we discussed about model question paper 1 section A. In this video, we are going to know about that model question paper 1, under that section B, it carries 2 marks. Under the section B, you have 12 questions, but you should attend 10 questions. Let us know about the section B 2 marks questions one by one. In model question paper 1, under that 13th question, mention 2 fields where statistics are used. Where it is very useful in statistics. Generally, statistics are used in demography. Demography means it is a study of human population. It is a study of human population. Study of human population is called as a demography. So, statistics are useful in demography. Next one is statistical quality control. We can denote it as a SQC. Statistical quality control. Statistical quality control means, so it is controlling the quality of a manufacturing of a product or goods. When we are manufacturing of time, so controlling a quality, proper quality, maintaining a quality, that is called as a statistical quality control. Statistics are used in statistical quality control. And biometry, statistics are used in biology also. Next, insurance field, statistics are used in insurance field. So these are the fields very important in use of statistics. Did you understand, students? Mention 2 fields where statistics are used. I given here 4. We can write in examination any 2. Okay. Next question, 14th question. Define attributes. Give an example. We already know about that. We have 2 types, variables and attributes. So attributes means a qualitative characteristics which varies from one unit to the another unit is an attribute. So attributes we can identifiable, but we can't numerically measurable. Numerically we can't measurable, but we can identifying the quality. Is called as an attributes. Variables means, so variables we can identifiable and also we can numerically measurable, is called as a variable. Attributes we can identifiable, but we can't numerically measurable. Is called as an attribute. So example for attributes is skin color. Skin color we can identifying, but we can't numerically measurable. And also intelligence or knowledge, ability, we can identifiable, but we can't numerically properly measurable. These are the best example for a attributes. Did you understand the concept here? So qualitative measurement is called as an attribute. Quantitative measurement is called as an variable. Did you understand, dear students? Okay. Next 15th question. Mention 2 sources of secondary data. We have 2 types of data. One is primary data, second one is secondary data. Okay. Secondary data, mention the 2 sources. So secondary data, we have a 2 source. One is published source, another one is unpublished source. Published source, example for published source, newspapers, journals, officially published of central or state government in websites or in newspapers, in journals or magazines, officially announcing information is called as an published data or published source. Any government or private, so public, they are issuing a information or spreading a information or giving a information officially is called as an published source in the form of newspaper, in the form of journals, in the form of any websites. So they are publishing a information to the public for the purpose of sharing a information. Next, unpublished source. Unpublished source means records maintained at government offices or municipal offices. They are recording a data, but they are not published. They are not published to a public. They are not published to a public. They are recording a details in a systematic manner, but they are not published to a public. So examples of banks, they are recording a details of the customers, but they won't submit or they won't publish to a public. Okay. So our government offices or municipal offices, they are recording a details of the information, but they won't publish to the public. Records maintained by a research institutions or research schools, they are recording a data, but they won't publish to a public. This data is called as an unpublished source. So secondary data, we have two types of source, published source and unpublished source. When we are recording data, we are publishing to the public. When we are published to a public or officially, is called as unpublished source. When we are recording only, but we are not published to a public, is called as an unpublished source. Okay, dear students, I think all are understood. It's very important and repeated questions. Please concentration on these questions. Okay. Next, 16th question. Under the section B, 2 marks. 16th question is mention merits and demerits of census enumeration. Merits means advantages or positiveness. Demerits means disadvantages or negatives. Here positive information we have to write, here we have to write negative information in census enumeration. Okay, census enumeration means it is a detailed information about the human beings. It is a detailed information about the human beings. Okay, so merits of census enumeration: the results are more accurate and reliable. So when we are collecting and recording information, it is a proper systematically they are recording the data. It should be very accurate. It should be very accurate and perfectness. Very accurate and perfectness. Next, reliable. So when we are recording data, it should be very correct and reliable data they are recording in a statistics. Next, it provides detailed study of all the units of population. All the units of population. When we are recording all the human beings information is called as an census enumeration. These are the advantages. It's giving a proper picture of human beings information. That is the concept of census enumeration. These are the merits. Next, we should know about the demerits, means negative information in a census enumeration. It requires more money. When we are recording a census enumeration details, it requires more money. It requires more cost. Next, it requires more labor and it requires more time. These and all disadvantages in a census enumeration, because it will take so much of time. It requires more labors or manpower. So that is the intention. These are the disadvantages, because it will take so much of time to do a work or completing a work. Okay, these are the disadvantages in a census enumeration. Okay, dear students, let us know about the next question. Define temporal classification with help of an example. With help of an example. So temporal classification, it is also known as a chronological classification. It is also known as a chronological classification. Chronological classification means, so when we data, we are recording in a systematic manner by using a dates and times. That is called as a chronological order. Let us know about the definition of chronological or temporal classification. So temporal classification means orderly arrangement of statistical data, orderly arrangement of statistical data according to time and date of an event occurred, is called as an temporal or chronological classification. Temporal or chronological, both are same. When we are recording a data in a systematic manner by using a orderly, they are arranging the data according to time and date of an event occurred, is called as an temporal or chronological classification. So examples for chronological order, take an example here. Population of India, they are recording the information, population information every year. Census they are conducting every 10 years, they will be collecting the information and recording. So I will give an here example 1, 2000, 2005, 2010, 2015. It is a year information, means time. They are recording information based on the time. So next, population they are given in 2000, they are given population in the form of millions. So we have a 1210. Next 2005, 1280, 2010, 1340, 2015, 1380. This is the information and best example for temporal or chronological order. Okay dear students, according to time or according to year or according to date, we are recording the data in a systematic manner, is called as an chronological order or chronological classification. Okay. Next 18th question. Convert the following inclusive class intervals into exclusive class intervals. Inclusive class intervals to exclusive class intervals. We already know about that. When the given data in the inclusive form, so class interval they are given 10 to 19, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59. This format when they are given, this is the inclusive method. When the problem they are given in an inclusive method, so we should convertible inclusive problems to the exclusive class interval. We have to convertible. On that time we have to apply the correction factor. I think all are know about that. We already solved so much of problems in the correction factors. Okay. So the formula for correction factor we can denote it as a CF. Correction factor is equal to lower limit of the second class minus upper limit of the first class divided by 2. This is the formula for correction factor. So lower limit of the second class means this is the class interval. It is the lower limit, it is the upper limit. It is the lower limit, it is the upper limit. It is the lower limit, it is the upper limit. It is continuously going on. It is the first class, it is the second class. So lower limit of the second class. So first class this is, second class this is. In this class interval lower limit is 20. So we have to take here 20. 20 minus upper limit of the first class. This is the first class. Under this upper limit, it is the lower limit, it is the upper limit. Upper limit is 19. 20 minus 19 divided by 2. So when we have to solve this correction factor, we will get 0.5. 20 minus 19 we will get 1. 1 by 2 we will get 0.5. So this is the correction factor. We have to apply the correction factor for class interval. This correction factor value is 0.5. We have to less for the lower limit and we have to add for upper limit. We have to less for lower limit, we have to add for upper limit. 0.5 minus 10 we will get 9.5. 0.5 plus 19.5. If you add upper limit we will get 19.5. Continuously we have to do all the class interval. Same method we have to apply for all the class intervals. We will get these the class intervals. Okay dear students, I think all are know about that. This because we already solved this type of problems in a offline classes. Okay, did you understand, dear students? So this is the section B. We already solved the 8 questions. We already solved the 8 questions, or sorry, we solved the 6 questions, 13 to 18 questions. In the next video we can continue the next questions. Okay, thank you to all.